Phillies come back across the pond, and who faces them but the AL East in Boston and Baltimore? We'll discuss, along with what the hell are we supposed to do for 6 weeks without the Eagles? Try not to go crazy, and we'll talk about that. And lastly, maybe the most frustrating topic we have, why can't the Sixers find role players like the Celtics? PSD is next.
It looked just like this game. We can't even hit a beach ball.
No heart. That's one thing that this city demands is heart. This team had none of it. It's a disgrace.
Philly fans, we always stink. Philly fans, we always stink.
What are we talking about here? What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of PSD, Philadelphia Sports Disorder. I am your resident therapist and host, Rob Lange. I am glad to be joining you here today to talk about our 3 teams a little bit closer than we have. Phillies, we'll start there, okay? They go across the pond. They split with the Mets. No big deal. No big deal. To go into a situation like that and to split is exactly what you want out of that situation, okay? So that's the first thing we need to talk about because I know a lot of people couldn't believe they lost the second game to the Mets. Oh, the Mets suck. Once again, let's go back to last week. Stop living with every pitch in every game in a 162-game season. It will drive you mad. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next, they come home and they got to go to Boston and the Baltimore. Now, I know Boston's been floundering a little bit, but the Phillies, for whatever reason, when they go up there, I feel like it's never a good thing. But as we record this show on Thursday morning, they have won the first game. They have lost the second game, basically because of a really bad error that opened the floodgates on Wednesday night. But that's okay. The fact that they came back from London, had one day off, and then we're able to win 4-1 in the first game in Boston shows you what this team is made of. They are good. They are a good baseball team, and they're going to be good throughout the year. Okay, the pitching is there. They need to add, I believe, a relief arm at the deadline and an outfielder at the deadline. That's what they got to do. That's what they got to do. And as long as they do that, I think they're going to be fine. But what I'm really excited about, even more so than this Boston series, is this Baltimore series. I mean, think about it, guys. Who would have thought 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago that Philadelphia-Baltimore would be a premier weekend series in Major League Baseball? 2 teams that are separated by 90 minutes, okay? How do I know that so well? Because I went to school down there, and it was always nice when I was down there. It was during the T.O. saga where he told Baltimore to go to hell, came to Philadelphia. So very close proximity, but you got 2 really good baseball teams that are going to go at it this weekend. The Phillies are finally rolling into that part of their schedule where you can no longer question who they're playing. Okay. You just can't do it. With the sweep of Milwaukee before heading out to London, they split in London. Hopefully they can win on Thursday and, win the series here in Boston. And then the Baltimore series is big. I want to see what they do. I believe it's shaping up where they should have some of their better arms pitching. I believe the last game of that series should very well be Zach Wheeler. So we'll see what happens there. But it's exciting to talk about the Phillies and the Orioles as a possible, World Series matchup. And we're going to get a preview of it this weekend. I mean, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would enjoy that. Camden Yards, such a rich history. And then obviously, our Fighting Phils. So, it's a lot of fun. And we have to take it as that. We have to take it as that. Don't look at this in any other way than fun. Don't be so serious all the time. Why so serious, as our friend the Joker has said in the past? Okay, Enjoy this weekend. Let's see what happens. Let's see how they come out of it. All right. So with that, not a lot to talk about, right? Phillies, it's one of those things. Baseball is one of those things where it's like the season is so long that you can't just talk about it all the time. So, that's all we're giving it today. 5 minutes. That's all you're getting here on PSD. We're not messing around, okay? We moving one thing to another, and we're going to move right now on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles ended their mandatory minicamp, and now it's about a 6-week break until they come back, the end of July, beginning of August, get into training camp. And it didn't take more than one day for the media to try and create a story to drive everybody insane. I just cannot figure out why people just don't understand who players are after they've been here for a few years. Jalen Hurts will never say anything extremely positive or extremely negative about anyone. Anyone.
Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else, opinion of a sheep? No.
So why do we feel the need to say, oh, there's turmoil between coach and player? What the hell are we doing? Why does that have to be a big deal? The guy is stoic. The guy has a vendetta to a certain extent against the media. He believes if he says anything more than just the bare minimum about anything, it's going to get scrutinized. This is who he is. Does it drive me nuts sometimes? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It drives me nuts that he doesn't understand a little bit better that by doing what he did, that actually creates more of an issue. But it doesn't have to be a big story. It doesn't have to be this big conspiracy that he doesn't like Nick. Maybe he doesn't. But that doesn't tell me that. We want to create these things because we're bored. And then the fans jump right on it. This is why you should have never brought him back. This is ridiculous. This team, you got a lame duck coach. First of all, the CEO head coach has worked numerous times before in the NFL. Who is to say Nick Sirianni can't be an extremely good CEO coach? Tell me. It's ridiculous. You guys just make these assumptions without having any idea if it's true or not. What do we say is Nick Sirianni's strength? Leader of men. Players respect the hell out of him. He falls on the sword for guys. Willing to take the hits. That's what a CEO does, guys. He's still going to be involved in game planning, but maybe it's better he's not calling the plays. Maybe it's better he's focusing on all the intangibles around the game. Why can't we just wait and see? Because for 6 weeks, we have nothing to talk about. So let's create some shit out of thin air. Because that's what just happened. That's what just happened. And my problem with it is if Jalen Hurts comes out and actually does say, I love Nick, he's the greatest coach in the world, everyone will then say, oh, he's just pandering. He's just pandering. He doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean that. It's because you get an idea in your head, and then that script, that story, is all you want to hear. And you will do whatever you can to make it fit your narrative. That's the way it is. And it's ridiculous. Stop. You don't like Nick. Fine. He's here. Okay? He's here. So, I ask you, Eagles fans, do you want to be right? Or do you want your team to win? And this is a dead serious question. Dead ass serious question. Because there are many of you who just want to be right. You don't care if the Eagles win. You actually want them to lose so you can say, see, I told you, Nick Sirianni sucks. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, we go through coaches in this town faster than we go through underwear. Some of you smelly asses have probably had the same underwear for 30 years. But after 2 years, you want to get rid of a guy. Can we let this play out? If they're terrible again this year, then we go back to the drawing board and we talk about maybe getting a new coach. But if you are going to fire this guy after every interview, after every play, after every game, how is that enjoyable? And it's not just this franchise that we do it with. We do it with the Sixers as well. It drives me nuts how quickly people turn on coaches in a professional league where the players friggin' play. Creating stupid-ass storylines because a quarterback said the bare minimum like he has his entire friggin' career at the podium.
I don't know.
But you don't see it that way because you just want to be right. You want Jalen to hate Nick. You want Nick to be a lame duck. And it's preposterous, and it's not being a fan. It's not being a fan. So either that stops, or you should just remove yourself from the situation. And this is coming from maybe one of the most negative freaking people out there. Always seeing the negative. Right here, this guy, self-proclaimed, not happy about it, but it is what it is. But Jesus Christ, if I can have fun watching this team, or any team for that matter, then you should be able to. You don't have to be right all the time. It's okay. We're all imperfect. So, what should we do for 6 weeks? How about nothing? How about nothing? I want to talk about some training camp battles you're expecting? Great. I want to talk about some guys you really hope have breakout years? Tremendous. But for this 6 weeks, it should be positivity surrounding the Eagles because there's nothing happening that's negative. If something comes out in the news, then you react to it. Right now, it should be all positivity, looking forward to training camp and getting excited for hopefully a successful season. Can we do that? Please? Please. Can we do that? Can we forget about our narrative for a season and come together and just watch and discuss? It's okay. It's okay. You can be wrong and you can be right. But you don't have to wish to be right. Sometimes you learn more from being wrong. That's my standard statement today. Sometimes you can learn more from being wrong. So enjoy the 6-week break. Talk about the players you're excited to see and what you're hoping for from this season. But keep it positive, ladies and gentlemen. There's no reason to do anything else. Keep it friggin' positive. Now, that was my only positivity. I'm done with positive now. Because what I'm going to now pisses me off to no end. No end. I watch very little bit of the NBA Finals because I'm just not the guy that continues to watch the NBA once the 76ers are out because I just don't love the product. I don't love the officiating. It just gets annoying. But there's something that I am so freaking jealous of. And I throw up in my mouth even thinking about having to say what I'm about to say. But I am so jealous of the Boston Celtics' ability to fill out their roster around their stars. They take chances. They will make all kinds of trades. They don't care. This team in game 2 against the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Tatum did not play well. Did not play well at all. And for all intents and purposes, the game wasn't close. Because, you see, when a Drew Holiday becomes available, the Boston Celtics pounce. The Boston Celtics aren't scared of a couple of average years from Kristaps Porzingis, who, by the way, didn't even play again last night in game 3, and they still win. The Boston Celtics can see the positives and the dynamics that a Derek White can bring to your team. They know just how much to play guys like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Yet for over a decade, we have watched the Sixers have to retool their team almost every year. Now, this year, we knew that was coming. We knew it was coming for a couple years. All the cap space, all the people that were leaving. We knew it was coming. But I look back to the years after, you have Jimmy, and he leaves, and okay, him and Ben couldn't work together, and you bet on the young guy at that point. It's frustrating. Hindsight's 2020. I can't blame you, though, for what happened. But you didn't build out a team. Now, I will say, part of it is I don't know if there's a curse here, but for some reason, guys come here and their game deteriorates. Hey, guys, Al Horford's still playing in the league, and he's done some pretty good things for the Boston Celtics. That guy sucked here. He stole money here. Maybe it was the wrong position. Maybe he couldn't play with Joel Embiid. But shouldn't your front office know that? Shouldn't you know that? And it's not just Daryl Morey. It's him now. But it was Elton Brand. It was Brett Brown. Shit. This goes back beyond the process. It was Ed Stefanski. These guys, for whatever reason, cannot put a roster together. Surrounding their stars with guys that can make big plays in big moments when the star's having an off night.
Kawhi, you are a man.
As I have said, I know and I believe that the right move for the Sixers is to get a third quote-unquote star. Doesn't have to be a star, but an upper echelon player. But that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about rounding out your top 8 or 9. I'm worried about those guys that have to play the minutes when either Embiid's off the floor or Maxi's off the floor. It is infuriating that the front office of Boston is light years ahead of anybody that's been in the front office for the Sixers for years. Why is this happening? Why are we cursed as a fan base to have to witness such ineptitude from a front office? I want a top 8 that I can trust all the way down. They don't have to be superstars. Drew Holiday is not a superstar, but Jesus Christ, he's a hell of a player. Derek White is not a star, but damn it, does he know his role and do what he's supposed to do? So how does this have to work? Well, in my opinion, the coach has to tell the front office, these are the guys I need. And then the front office has to do everything they can. And there is no excuse. There is no, oh, well, we just couldn't get it. Make it happen. If Boston said that, they wouldn't have gotten Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday this year. They go out and they make it friggin' happen. Daryl Morey, this is a call to you. You need to make it happen.
Do it! Just do it!
This nonsense has to stop. I cannot be a fan and consistently have to watch this stupid Boston Celtics team just run laps around you because they built out a roster. Get on it now. Because I'm telling you right now, you want to build a new stadium? You want a fan base to support you? You have another shitty year this year. Forget it. It's over. It's over. Embiid will probably walk. And no one's going to trust you. You're gone. I don't care about all the contract extensions in the world you can get. This is ridiculous. Form a friggin' roster around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and do something. Do something. All right. That's going to wrap us up here on PSD. I appreciate you joining in. Make sure you're clicking and subscribing, commenting, everything. Follow this show. Send this show to your loved ones, to all your friends. I appreciate you being here. Next week, we will be back. But for now, that's all the time we have. And I will see you next week.